welcome to Rooted in Yad, where I talk about what it's really like living in Jamaica so that you can know what to expect and how to thrive if you're planning to make the move here. And today is something a little different and exciting. Today we are getting into, this was actually a requested topic, so thank you for suggesting those topics about like what to, fun things to do in Jamaica and like the how you can even build community in Jamaica, stuff like that. So, since y'all know, or you might not know, that I'm kind of an introvert, I don't know anything, so I'm interviewing somebody who does. Today, I'm interviewing Monique in Jamaica, so I will give Monique an opportunity to share about herself. So, Monique, I think something people would like to know is kind of a bit about your story, if you've traveled around Jamaica, if you're mainly familiar with one area so that like when you're talking they know which point of reference you're coming from, or like if you've been to different areas, if you've lived outside of Jamaica, so there's some comparison, things like that.
Hi, my name is Monique. As you said before, I do have a YouTube channel here called Monique from Kingston. So that is where I am originally from and currently based. But I have spent my life traveling around Jamaica. I love Jamaica, the landscape, the culture. And so I've made it a point of duty, I guess, to make sure that I get to know my little island because, we always say that tourists come and know Jamaica better than we know Jamaica. And I wasn't going to make that happen to me. So, yes, I do have places that I frequent in Jamaica outside of Kingston. And of course, I'm a Kingston baby, so I can tell you a lot about our capital nation, our capital city here.
All right, that's very fun. Thank you for sharing all of that because it gives people context about where you're coming from. Um, so, since you had mentioned, about getting to know Jamaica, I think it's really important for us to, I say us because I also have my citizenship here, but really I'm not from here. But Jamaicans, I think it's very important for Jamaicans to, get to know their own island because
And
as you said,
enjoy
there's
what we have.
yeah,
Yes. Mhm.
yeah, I definitely agree. So this will even be useful because I have a lot of Jamaicans who watch my channel as well.
Mhm.
So this will probably even be useful to them. So I guess my first question, just to start, I guess for those who are going to be moving here or moving back here, where do you think, this is kind of broad because it depends on where they go, but like where do you think they can actually go to meet people and connect, or like what areas are kind of more known for their, I don't know, maybe more fun or vibrant lifestyle? Because I've talked to a couple of people just in person, and they always talk about how it's kind of lonely, like especially they're moving by themselves. They come here and it's like kind of lonely, and they don't even know where to go. And I've even talked to other Jamaicans who are in
Mhm.
certain areas, and they're like, I'm just trying to make friends. And I'm having a hard time. I don't know where to go. I don't know what to do. So, just from your experience, like, where do you think people can go to get to know other people and to make friends?
The answer is not different than if you were anywhere else, like any other country, and it really is rooted in what you like to do. So you have to find a hobby. If you're going to move here, or even if you're Jamaican, start with your hobbies. What do you like to do? And if you don't have any hobbies, maybe it's time to explore some. So I think the easiest place to meet people, especially if you're trying to build friendships and build community, is shared interests. And so if you're into sports, if you're into tennis, swimming, football, whatever it is, football, especially here in Jamaica, whether you are a boy or girl, we love our football, not soccer, football. And that's one of the easiest places to go and meet people who have a common interest. And so, if it's not sports, there are still other things like especially in Kingston, it might be a little different outside of Kingston, but in Kingston, we have things popping up all the time, like woodworking classes, yoga classes, sip and paints, those kind of cultural things, I guess, that you can go and they happen regularly enough that you'll see the same people. You can connect with people who you have these interests in, art classes, and start from there. That's what I would say. If you really want to meet someone, start with things that you like to do and find out where it's being held, because chances are you will find a class or some kind of group happening somewhere around you.
Yeah, that's very true because even I recall when I first moved here, because I moved here some years ago, because I got married to a Jamaican, moved here some years ago, and then we left and came back. But when I first moved here, I know he used to go to, they had like, oh, was it Digimon and Pokemon card game meetings? Like they would meet up and play, and I'm like, what? You guys got that here?
Yes, yes, we have Dungeons and Dragons, we have anime meetups. If you can dream it up, we probably have some kind of activity going on here. It's just to find it. And it's easy to find out that social media is a thing. So,
Yeah, that's very true. Thank you for sharing, because I didn't even think about that. Now I'm thinking like, oh, even when you mention anime meetups, I love anime, so now I'm thinking like, oh, I'm gonna have to go look for an anime meetup now.
yes, there are quite a few that happen throughout the year. So, definitely look on Facebook for these kind of meetups that happen. Look on Instagram to see if you can find anything. There are pages that will like repost events that are happening, but definitely Facebook is a place where you'll find like community events and things like that. So start there is what I would say, and do some searches.
Okay, perfect. So, yes, for anyone who's listening who does not have Facebook, I'm sorry. Get yourself a Facebook. Just get
You
yourself
know,
a Facebook.
when I travel is when I realize how crucial Facebook is, because that is where people gather to share this kind of information. So when I moved to Mexico for a short while, and I had to rely on Facebook for a lot of information. So it comes in handy.
Yeah, yeah. Um, okay, so I guess that kind of because I was my next question was literally going to be kind of around like the different type of clubs and groups and things. I think just for the people, I'll kind of share a couple of groups that I know of on Facebook. So I know I came across a group called Backpacking in Jamaica. I didn't know that was a thing, but people come to Jamaica and backpack throughout Jamaica, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
Um,
I've come across a few backpackers here before. So yeah, the there are certain regions that they gravitate to. I guess here in Kingston, people come to backpack the Blue Mountains, and so you'll find a lot of backpackers if you go into the coffee shops and the bed and breakfasts in the Blue Mountains. You're likely to find people who backpack.
That's very interesting. Yeah, I didn't know about, and people always talk about, oh, Jamaica and the safety and this and that. I'm just like, yo, it's really not what you think. Like
And
there can be,
backpackers on a whole are like safety is not top of mind for them, it seems, because they will go to places that you wouldn't catch me. But okay.
yeah. Um, so some other groups I can think of people can probably join on Facebook. There's expats in Jamaica. Really, if you search expats in any probably city or country, you're probably gonna find something. So expats in Jamaica, expats in Negril, expats in Montego Bay. There's like specific groups for black expats. So there's like black expats living in Jamaica, or like I think there's female expats living in Jamaica. Like there's a whole bunch of different groups as well. So as I said, if you don't have a Facebook, if you're listening and you do not have a Facebook, I understand why you may not have a Facebook, but you're probably going to want to get a Facebook
Yeah.
when you're thinking of moving here. Okay, so I guess my next question would be, because people are always looking, for, I don't know, bigger events to go to and stuff. So I don't know if like what are the kind of the best times of year for events or festivals or making connections, because I know sometimes they're like slower than others.
Yeah, I would say to look up the Jamaican holiday calendar, because we have big events surrounding most of our local holidays. So you will have like Christmas is obviously a great time to come and connect. Christmas, the whole island is crowded because everybody who lives abroad, who's Jamaican, they come home. And then you have the visitors who are just on vacation. So the whole island is crowded during the whole Christmas season. But then we move into like Easter, and that's when you get into Carnival, and that's a big thing as well. People come just for Carnival. You go into May, and there's Labor Day here in Jamaica, and during Labor Day we have another party season again. Jamaicans love to party, we have party season surrounding every holiday. Like, why is it Labor Day and there's a party happening? That's in May, I think, and then of course there's summer, which our independence is during summer. It's in August 1st to 6th. That there's a whole Independence Week that we have. It's full. Our cultural calendar is full in August. So I would say if you want to come to Jamaica to experience culture and meet people, Independence Week is probably one of the best times to come. It is during hurricane season, so wage your bets on that. But it is a great fun. And then there is Heroes Day in October, which is again another great time to go to Portland. There's a whole holiday party series again in Portland. So if partying is your thing, look for the Jamaican holidays. But the August one has a lot of cultural activities as well. So that's a great time to come to the island.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. And it's true about the holidays. I was like, every 2 seconds there's a holiday. Like,
No, we
every
could
two
use
seconds it
more.
felt
We
like.
were just, me and my friends were just talking how Trinidad has so many more holidays than us, and we're a little bit jealous. So, yeah, there are more holidays to be had.
What? Like, I remember, especially when I first came, I'm like, why is it? I try and go to town. Town is shut down. I'm like, what? Why? There's a holiday. There's a whole thing going on. I'm like, what? What again? Didn't we just have
Yeah, we
one?
love our holidays, and then we do it really big on holidays because our weekends are already like wind down, party, whatever's. We take our weekend seriously here in Jamaica, and so when it comes to a holiday, then it's even bigger.
Yeah. Yeah, so okay. As I said, for anyone who's listening, as Monique was saying, holidays. If you want to
Hmm.
connect, especially with other Jamaicans,
Yeah.
like the people here, holidays come during a holiday. So actually in Google Calendar, you should be able to put in, there's a way that you can actually put in like the holidays from different countries.
Yeah.
So you should be able to do that in your Google Calendar. If you don't have a Google Mail or whatever, it's free and easy to get one. You can just go sign up, and then you go into the calendar, you go into the settings, and you should be able to select which holidays that you want to see on your calendar. And that can probably help you as you are planning out your trip to Jamaica, of when you want to come and kind of experience those festivities. Um, Okay, so I guess my next question is the kind of about the safety thing I mentioned, of just, you know, I guess people want to kind of know how they want to enjoy Jamaica, but like how also they can stay safe. I've kind of talked a bit about that, but I'd also be curious to hear what your thoughts about that as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's not something that can be ignored. Jamaica, we're doing better, but safety is a thing, crime is a thing. When it comes to Jamaica, that's one of the things that people say, oh, it's dangerous down there. And what I say to that is that, it's dangerous in Italy. Like there is danger to be had almost anywhere in the world that you go. So the same checks and balances apply. Like you're going to want to probably venture out in the daytime. You're going to want to connect with people who you know and trust if you want to go out at nighttime, or you're going to want to go to safe spaces. So just like if I'm in Italy or Spain or Portugal or wherever, I'm not going to go to any place that looks sketchy. And you can tell when a place looks sketchy just by, the surroundings. I'm going to go to places where I Google and people say, okay, this place is safe, this place is fun. I'm going to get my connection sorted before I go. If you're walking on the streets, you just want to be safe. You don't want to be flashy. You don't want to have your cell phone out, probably. I wouldn't do these things in the US either. I would do these things in Canada. You just want to keep yourself safe by sticking to main thoroughfares, not venturing into anywhere where you don't know if it's a safe space or not. And, Googling, asking questions of locals. If you're staying at a hotel or an Airbnb, ask the people who work there, where are the places to go? Where should I avoid? That kind of a thing. Ask the drivers who are taking you around, where are their favorite places to go and where should you avoid? And this will start you off on a good, way to keep yourself safe and do all the little things that you would do anywhere else, to keep yourself safe. Just try not to attract too much attention to yourself, and you'll be fine.
Yes, thank you. Because I've been saying this, so it's nice to have someone else who also says the same thing. I've been saying, like, when people ask me, they're like, oh, Jamaica, and is it unsafe? I'm like, we're in Canada. There are unsafe places in Canada, aren't there? There are places that you won't go to. There are certain precautions you take when you leave your car. You lock your car. In Canada, you're
Yeah.
gonna do the same here. Like, it's,
Exactly. A lot of the crime and violence that you will hear about in Jamaica is not geared towards tourists. Nobody's going to trouble a tourist unless you attract attention to yourself, and they're trying to think, okay, here's a money target. Maybe I can get something from you. But generally, nobody's going to trouble a tourist. A lot of the crime and violence is, you know, Jamaican on Jamaican.
yeah, yeah. Um, so I actually have, as we were talking, I thought of another question that I didn't put on the list, but I'm just curious if you have any thoughts on it. I've talked to a couple of people, especially women, who've come here and they've said, well, not, maybe not just women, but I've talked to some people who've come here and they've said they've felt um, a lot of, I don't know, negativity from other Jamaicans. Like they're trying to be friends with some Jamaicans here, but then like I don't know, they'll get like a stink eye or like people will just be rude to them. I haven't really experienced that because I'm like there are miserable people everywhere. But I don't know if you have any thoughts on like how to um I don't know how to make friends with actual like with the Jamaicans here. Like how
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you have any thoughts there, but I find it and it's not like one person who said this to me. Multiple people have said this, especially Americans, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
like I don't know if it's jealousy. I don't know if it's I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's I don't think they're coming off a way that's unfriendly. So because I've met with them.
Yeah, I think for that I would need like a specific example to like say, okay, maybe this was happening or that was happening. I don't know of that being a widespread issue. The only thing I can think of when it comes to that is there is a complaint that when you go to some of our resorts, they don't treat Jamaicans and by extension Black people the same as they treat the white people. And that is the truth. A lot of other places is that we think that the white people are spending more money or they're, I don't know what it is. That is rooted in something that's bigger than this discussion. Because I get that too at some resorts, or some of the times they'll think that we aren't going to tip as well as the white people or whatever the case may be. And so they don't give us the same service, whatever the case may be. That is rooted in a lot of ignorance, I think. So for me, I just tend to if there are multiple people who's on staff, and so if I get that kind of pushback from one, then I'll move on to the next. I'm not going to sit there and argue with somebody and try to force them to be what they're not. You know what I mean? I'm someone who visits our resorts quite often, and so yeah, I just keep it pushing if I'm getting because it's a stereotype that Jamaicans have bad customer service, and that stereotype is rooted in truth. So there is a lot to be said about our friendliness or lack thereof in certain spaces. But I just keep it pushing and find someone who is. And so I can't say outside of the resource, I just can't say that it is a personal thing. I don't know what would have caused that. But all I will say, if one person is being mean to you, just move on. Just move on. Maybe you're having a bad day. Maybe I don't know what that is, but yeah.
Okay, yeah, thank you. Because I'm like, I guess I still have to explore into that. Because I know when me being here, maybe because my background's Jamaican and everything, and I don't know, maybe there's certain things I'm used to and certain ways I'm used to. Maybe
Yeah,
it's like,
it really could be cultural differences as well, as you say. Because sometimes people are being just plain faced, and someone else will take it as, oh, you're being mean. Do you get what I'm saying? I mean, the popular example is when we say hush, and people think, oh, you're telling me to be quiet. when we use hush to mean, oh, don't worry about it, or I'm sorry about that, so it really could be a cultural difference as well. We might just, we can be not very nice, but it doesn't mean that we're being mean either. We're just kind of, what I mean. And so I
Yeah.
can see how someone might take that as, oh, you're standoffish or whatever. I don't know.
Oh, that's very true. That's very true. The cultural difference. I didn't even think about the hush thing. That is so true.
Yeah.
um. Okay. So I think. Uh. Yeah, I think this was really good. I think those were all my questions. So before I get you, to like shout out your channel or business or anything, is there anything that you kind of wanted to, I don't know, based on our conversation, was there anything that you kind of wanted to go over or discuss or think like people should know um, when they come here, if they're moving here or visiting and they're trying to like build community or interact with people? I don't know if there's anything you want to share in that area that we didn't discuss already.
I just want to encourage people to do their research, like very deep research, especially if you're coming here to stay for a long visit. It's one thing to come to Jamaica and have a grand vacation and go back, but it's going to be different if you want to stay for 3 to 6 months or you want to move here. Even returning residents, I say it's not wise to just pack up and come back home. You have to start your trip with some research. You have to start making visits back home every now and then, just to kind of wiggle yourself back into the Jamaica that is now. Because if you left here 10, 15 years ago, Jamaica has moved on and it's changed vastly. And so you want to come back and get familiar with what the country is like now. And, building community is definitely something that can be done online first. Jump into some of these Facebook groups, start to reach out to different people, different social space in different social spaces to see where people are gathering and, find your interest, what you can do. And I think start from there. I would say I don't encourage anyone to come to Jamaica without doing their research, but also come to Jamaica. Jamaica is, I have a saying that Jamaica sweet bad, and I think it's true that a lot of people I talk to are returning residents, particularly because of the people. Like, all right, we have a little edge about us and we can come off a little mean, but we're nice too, you just have to get to know the right ones, I guess. Jamaica is, the culture here is different. That's why we are known worldwide. Come and find out for yourself why Jamaica sweet bad.
Yeah, and what you said about doing research that is really on point because the first video I made on my channel was about the things I wish I knew before I came to Jamaica. Because when I came to Jamaica, I did not do any research. I thought, oh, I've visited a few times. I know, and my background's Jamaican. I know Jamaica. I'll be fine. Like, and really at that point, I was just thinking about getting married. I'm like, I gotta hurry up and get married and like move here because I'm tired of being away from the love of my life. And I got ate up in the comments. People are like, were you so dumb? You really moved to Jamaica without
Oh.
doing research? I said, yes, you know what? You're right. I was dumb. This is why I'm creating this video. This is exactly why. Don't be like me. Don't move to Jamaica and do no research. Don't.
Yeah.
You're going
Yeah,
to be in for the
you
shock of your life.
for sure. And then another reminder is that if you're coming from a place that is a first world country, you have to recognize that we are a developing nation. A lot of things are going to be on Jamaica time. It's going to be slower. It's going to be more frustrating in a lot of ways. So be prepared for that. But maybe that will help you to learn some patience. I don't know. It's worth it for a slower pace of life. I think that's one of the reasons why I returned home, because I enjoy the quality of life that I live here in Jamaica. So yeah, the balance is, I find the balance to be better for me. Whereas in other countries, you're on that hamster wheel. You feel like you have to go, 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 and do, 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 do. In Jamaica, I get to enjoy my weekends. I get to enjoy my life. I earn the money and then I get to enjoy it. And I have a lot of friends overseas who are earning big bucks and I'm not enjoying it. So yeah, the balance for me is found here in Jamaica.
Yeah, I agree. That's exactly the reason I came back too. When I when I first came, I stayed for 2 years and then I left and I was like, I'm never going back to Jamaica. I don't even want to step foot in Jamaica. I was done. But I guess, as they say, what, long run, short catch?
Yes.
Because years later, I'm like, was it actually that bad? Me comparing the life I had in Jamaica to my life in Canada, I say, you know what? I think I'm ready for a slower pace of life. And I mean, now I lived there, so I know what to expect with the outages. I know what to expect with this. And I know this time to bring some money with me because I brought $0 the first
Ooh.
time. Zero. I don't know what I was like, oh, my husband has a job and like, I'm thinking Jamaica is like Canada where, there's just jobs and you can just come here and I'll just come here and get a job. I'll just like,
Right.
he has a job, I'll just come here and get a job, not understanding that's not how it works.
It really isn't. It really isn't at all. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you can understand why people in the comments were like, "Are you?" Like, yes, I was dumb. I was young and I was dumb. That is you're exactly right. Don't do what I did. Um, yeah, but what you said is so right. Okay, thank you so much for coming on this interview with me. So I'd like you to shout out yourself, your channel, your business, like let people know like how they can follow more of your journey, how they can get in touch with you if they want to get in touch with you, your offerings, anything you want to shout out to the
Oh,
people
right
about.
now I'm just focused on my YouTube channel. So if you are interested in moving back to Jamaica, the last few videos are probably going to be right up your alley. So come on over. My channel is Monique from Kingston. You're going to like it. I just spoke about moving back to Jamaica in several different aspects. I'm about to speak about healthcare in Jamaica. So if you're interested in that any at all, make sure you come on over and subscribe because that's the next video that's about to come out.
That's perfect. I think people are probably going to come over for that because I get questions about that, and I'm like, I have no idea because I still haven't been to a doctor here yet, so I
Great.
don't know
But
anything.
yeah, I want to debunk some sayings about our healthcare system because people like to think that, oh, it's the worst. It's really not all bad. So I have a very spirited discussion coming up soon.
All right, so y'all heard. If you are, especially, I feel like Americans, because Americans, the healthcare costs over there are astronomical.
Yes.
I feel like everywhere healthcare is cheaper. if
Quite
they
possibly so.
if
Yes.
they go anywhere else, it's cheaper. But certainly so in Jamaica. So if you are interested in learning more about healthcare in Jamaica, please go to Monique's channel because she will have a video there for you, or it'll be coming out. So like, just subscribe so you don't miss when that video
Right.
comes out. Um, okay, so that is it for the interview. Thank you so
And
much.
thank
This
you so
was
much
very
for
fun.
having me as well. I love to spread the word about Jamaica, so I'm always loving these conversations. I love to talk
Yeah,
about Jamaica. I know Jamaica is, yeah, it's sweet bad.
honestly, it is. That's the reason I created the channel because I'm constantly talking about, like, was it at least all of last year? I'm on Reddit answering questions about Jamaica. I have another channel about something else, and I'm there constantly answering these questions about Jamaica. And oh, when I moved to Jamaica, oh this, oh that. I'm in all these groups answering these questions. I'm like, why the hell did I not create a channel and just then I could create one video and be like, if you want to know
Yeah,
about Jamaica, just here,
there you
go to my
go.
videos instead of me having to rewrite everything all the time. So it's really nice to also meet someone else who has a heart for Jamaica because some Jamaicans don't. They really don't care for Jamaica. They don't care to be here. They're like, I just want to leave. I just want to.
Yeah. I do find that the people who are like that, they are coming from a place in Jamaica because, the reality of the different aspects of Jamaica isn't lost on me. So a lot of people who are having hard times in Jamaica, who grew up in the inner cities or, the rural parts of Jamaica that maybe they don't, they see the haves and they are part of the have-nots. When they leave, they don't want to go back. They don't, they're over it, and it's because of, I guess, what they were used to in Jamaica. And so I empathize, and I can see where they're coming from. But I want to be a part of the solution. I really want to help in whatever nation building I can, So those of us who want to see a better Jamaica and experience a better Jamaica can.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely agree. That's why I'm like, I'm so grateful to buck up into other people who feel the same, because I meet so many people who just have
Yeah.
such a negative view of Jamaica and of Jamaicans, and I'm like, I feel like everyone who wants to leave, they should be able to leave. Let the people who want to stay stay
That part.
and build up Jamaica. But for those who want to
Yeah.
leave, let them leave. I feel like they should be able to leave and build up themselves, and their families
And
elsewhere
they
if that's
will,
what they want.
and oftentimes they will see that, the reality is what you're running off to is not a bed of rose.
No, it was so funny because when I brought my husband to Canada, he, I mean, on top of him coming off and being like, oh, he was just shocked at how much more white people there were. I'm like, yeah, there's a lot more white people here. He's like, he went to work and he's like, he worked in Jamaica, and the thing is, he'd work like long hours. Like, he'd leave from about 6 in the morning and he'd come home 6 or 7 in the evening because he worked at a
Mm.
resort. So he was working long hours. Went to Canada and he's like, I've never worked so hard in my life.
Yep, there it is.
Yeah. So, yeah, we were both very happy to come back. Um, but yes. Okay, so that is it for today for this interview. I hope that you found this interview helpful or informative or at least entertaining. If you did, do leave a comment in the description to let me know, and I guess also let Monique know because she will probably be watching this. But I also want to hear from you. If you're a Jamaican or you are living here, what else do you think people need to know about like building community here, or about like the different things to do here that maybe we didn't cover or didn't discuss fully enough? Do leave it in the comments and let us know, or leave it in the comments and let me know and let other people know, because we want everybody to know. We want other people to know, so when they come here, they know what to look forward to. And if you are planning to move here, as I always say, don't leave without getting your freebies. I have freebies on my site that I created. I believe I should have way more enough. I should have enough by the time this video comes out, so don't forget to get your freebies. And if you want even more support outside of like my freebies and outside of these free videos, to help your transition to Jamaica go even smoother, like if you're planning to move here and like you want things to go smoother, you want to have a soft landing, I do have the Moving in Jamaica Starter Guide. This is a guide that I created based on my experience of moving here and all the things that like I noticed, I learned, and I noticed. Because as I said, quite a few of y'all like ate me up in the comments of my very first video to let me know how dumb I was moving to Jamaica without doing any form of research, right? Which I'm like, you're not wrong, but did y'all have to come for me like that? But anyway, the point is, I made all these mistakes and I learned from them. These mistakes were not for nothing. I learned from them. There's a lot of knowledge that I have put in this guide. And I've also compiled some resources from elsewhere as well. I've done like a couple, I've had chats with people and stuff. So I'm getting information from people here on the ground about certain things that I may not know about. And I'm compiling that all together in a guide for you. So if that's something that you're interested in, if you're interested in learning more about what to prepare before you come here, or the type of things to think about before you come here, when you get here, setting up essentials, understanding like the utilities, understanding like the costs and renting and groceries, etc. If that's what you're interested in, this guide can really help you. So I'm not sure if it's still available for pre-order by the time this video goes out. If it is available for pre-order, still, it's because I am still like designing it, but it'll be cheap for pre-order, like $10. If it is no longer in the pre-order stage and it's done, then you can just get like the full guide. It's there. The price will be increased from $10, but it won't be too much because I'm still trying to make it accessible, and like, I don't know, still make it affordable. I'm not like overpricing it or anything. I still want to make it affordable to everybody who wants it. So if that's something you're interested in, do get the guide. The link will be in the comments and description. And one more thing, I do want to mention, I do have a workbook. So this is something that you may find helpful. I have sent it to other people and they found it really helpful, and they're like, girl, you need to sell this. I'm only selling it for like $5 though. It is a workbook to kind of help you think through whether it's to help you think through what you want and whether Jamaica can help give you that. So if that's something that you're interested in and you're interested in working through that, the link for that will be in the description and in the comments, as I mentioned. And as I said, it's only like $5, so it's like cheap. Should it be more? Maybe, probably, but I'm selling it for $5, so y'all can just get it if that's something that you think would be helpful to you. And there are a couple of pictures when you go to the site. There are a couple of pictures to kind of show you what what is there. I think it's like over, I think it's like 30 or 40 pages. I don't remember. It's a decent sized guide. It should help you. That's also based on my experience of me thinking through what I want and like the certain prompts and questions that I asked myself, which helped to guide me to the things I want, and also, well, technically, I guess it guided me back here to Jamaica once I figured out what I wanted. All right, so the links are in the comments and description for that. The links for Monique's channel will also be in the comments and in the description. In the meantime, thank you so much for watching. If there's anything else that if you have any other topic suggestions, do let me know in the comments, and do subscribe to the channel if you haven't already so that you don't miss the next video. And yeah, I will see you in the next one.